Namaste and welcome to Tea with MC. I am your hostess with the mostest, Monique Christine, and it is a delight to share time, space, and energy with you. So, this is our very first multicast. We are streaming it on four different platforms right now. I know we had some issues with the original stream, so if you found me, awesome. So let me know if you are joining me live. You can give me a hashtag live. And if you happen to be catching the replay, go ahead, drop that hashtag replay. Let me know where you are checking in from. I am checking in from I think it might be cloudy outside, Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the Bengals. And before you ask, yes, I have been a diehard fan since before we started winning. Okay. But I totally digress. That is not why we're here. We are not here to talk about the Bengals. Maybe next week. We are here to talk about your priority hierarchy. Now, before we get into that, this show is called Tea with MC. So, what are you sipping on? Let me know what is in your cup. I have a nice steaming cup of some peach flavored tea today. If you know me, you know that I love my caffeine free herbal teas. I happen to be prone to developing cysts. So, if you yourself happen to be prone to developing cysts and you want to know how you can naturally um, change that so you're not developing them, then you can cut back on caffeine. So, that's why I really don't imbibe any caffeine. Okay, but we're not here to talk about that either. We are here to talk about your priority hierarchy. Yes, yes, yes. What is up with your priorities? Do you have your priorities in order? Are you living a life that you feel really honors you, honors your soul's mission, why you came here, what you came here to do? So, I've got a couple of things going on because I am my own executive producer. So, bear with me. Like I said, we are streaming on four different platforms. I'm using some new software here. So, we're just going to work out the kinks and we're going to have fun. All right. Perfectly imperfect. That is my motto, and that's what we're going to do. So, before we get into discussing the priorities, your priority hierarchy, the question is, what are priorities? Let's get on the same page with that before we go any further. Yes? Yes. All right. So, Oxford Languages defines a priority as the fact or condition of being regarded or treated as more important, or a thing that is regarded as more important than another. Okay, so that is what a priority is, something that you feel is more important than something else. So, the question that I have for you, my love, I want you to start thinking about this. What are your priorities? What are some of your priorities? Now, before we go any further, let me go ahead and give you this disclaimer. Anything that we discuss, anything that flies out of my face is only to serve you. It's only coming from a place of love. The insights and awarenesses that we are hoping to arrive at are not so that you can beat yourself up, because Lord knows we are our own harshest critics. Instead, it is so that you can become aware. You cannot change what you will not shine a light on. So we are just going to shine our pretty little blinged out flashlights on the things that we would like to change so that we can make a fully informed decision and move forward from a place of empowerment. Yes? Yes. Okay. So, with that being said, what are some of your priorities? Do you prioritize maybe your romantic partner? If you're married, your spouse, your boo thing, do you prioritize your children, your parents, your job, binge watching shit on Netflix? Do you prioritize hanging out at the strip club or, other clubs? Do you prioritize traveling? What are some of your priorities? This is a judgment-free zone, okay? So You don't have to answer publicly if you want to. It's a safe space. Everybody, please respect one another, okay? But if you choose not to answer publicly, that's perfectly fine. This really is just for you to become aware of how you are showing up in the world. Yes? Yes. Okay. So, what are some of your priorities? And there's no wrong answer. There's no right answer either. It's just your answer. Be honest with yourself here. What are your priorities? Now, did you know that priorities, if we go back to the definition of what a priority is, it says a priority is a thing that is regarded as more important than another, or it's the fact or condition of being regarded or treated as more important. So, if we keep that in mind, then that means that priorities don't have to be things. They could be things, they could be people, person, place, thing, right? So maybe, maybe your priorities don't lie heavily in like things. Maybe your priorities lie heavily in people. So now I want you to start to think, who are your priorities? Who are some of your priorities? And again, there's no right or wrong answer, just you being truthful with yourself. So for me, one of my priorities is my son. Of course, he's like my number one priority. Why did I say like? I'll come back to that, okay? Um, my mom is a priority. My relationships with my dad's family, all of them. There's so many of them. Oh my gosh. Shout out. Shout out to the Blackmans and all of you and all of the last names. Oh my gosh. I love y'all. Um, who are your priorities? Who is important to you? Maybe your priorities don't all make you feel warm and safe. Maybe some of your priorities include toxic people from your past or toxic people from your present. So be honest with you. Who are your priorities? Okay. So now I'm going to ask you a different question. It's slightly, actually, it's like hugely different. Who do you prioritize? Now, there's a difference between something being a priority and you actually prioritizing someone or something. So I want you to think, who do you prioritize? And I have this question for you. When you were thinking about who your priorities are, did you put your name on that list? Are you a priority to yourself? I'm going to go ahead and sip a little tea on that one, Boo, because I feel the cornstarch being added to the plot and it is thickening, girl. It's thickening. Okay, so who do you prioritize? Do you prioritize yourself? Do you put yourself before everyone else? 9 times out of 10, that answer is going to be no. And that's okay. Again, this is so you can become aware. This is not so you judge yourself, beat yourself up. Okay? Do you prioritize, again, toxic people? Do you prioritize people who treat you like an option? Insert FWAP fan, right? I need a FWAP fan because, girl, I feel like I made a couple people hot. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my heat off. Who are you prioritizing these days? And again, be honest with you. This is so that you can save yourself because I promise you, my love, you are worth saving. You are worth fighting for. Your peace of mind, your joy, your quality of life is all worth fighting for, even if other people don't see that. So, who do you prioritize? Okay, so we're going to shift a little bit, and I have this to share with you. Okay, because now, hopefully, actually, before we move to the next part, let's sit here with this. Who do you prioritize? Anything that I share is not from a place of preaching to you. It is from a place of love because been there, done that. So, let me ask you this. You can answer this publicly, you can answer this to yourself. No one's going to know. Have you been in the habit of prioritizing people who never treat you like a priority? Have you prioritized situations that you knew did not serve your greatest good? Have you ever prioritized shit that you knew was going to hold you back, maybe because you were also prioritizing someone who you knew you would have to leave behind if you step into your full self? You want me to say that in another way? How often do you hold yourself back? How often do you do shit that is going to keep you from getting to the next place because you don't want to make someone uncomfortable? You don't want to lose this person in your life. Have you ever prioritized someone to the point where you hurt yourself? Have you ever put someone else before you, before your education, before your relationships with your children, your relationships with your loved ones? I know people who have been in situations where they felt the need to prioritize the person they were with, so much so that they did not attend their own parents' funeral. Has that ever been you? How often do you put everybody else before you and feel like it's your job to be a martyr? Any martyrs in the house? That shit sucks, doesn't it? The problem with being a martyr is that you get stuck in that negative feedback loop, okay? You've got to sacrifice yourself, okay? So that people will love you, so they will respect you, so they will feel that you love them. But then it's not fulfilling for you. So then you're not living a life, you're not enjoying a high quality of life. And then you feel like shit. And then because you are so incredibly powerful, you attract what is in alignment with that, which is more shit. Because you can't roll in the dirt and not, what is it? You can't roll in the mud and not get dirty. You can't play with a puppy and expect to not get licked in the mouth, right? How often do you punish yourself? Trigger warning for those of you that have experienced abuse in your life. A lot of the things that I'm saying are probably really hitting home for you because at some point it became programmed in you that you had to feel bad, that you had to feel shame, that you couldn't feel good and clean and light and free. And so maybe if other people around you weren't abusing you, maybe you decided to abuse yourself because that is comfortable for you. That is more comfortable than you receiving love and support, than you lifting yourself up, than you surrounding yourself with people that will also lift you up. How many years have you spent hurting yourself, putting yourself on the back burner, abusing yourself? We can say it. Sometimes we abuse ourselves. But guess what? You get to forgive yourself, okay? So let's go ahead and forgive ourselves in this moment. Let's take a moment and breathe, because I know that brought up some things for quite a few of you. In through the nose, my love. And release that one. Blow it all to me, okay? Just blow it all out. Let it all go. And anything that comes up for you, let it come up. This is a safe space. Again. And let's do one more together. Beautiful. You always have a choice, okay? You get to choose from this moment forward to do shit differently. If it doesn't look and feel like love, fuck it, let it go. Change it, burn it up, set it on fire. Let's build anew. Let's start something fresh that does look and feel like love. You were not put here to suffer. You did not come here to suffer. You did not come here to be a martyr. You did not come here to sacrifice your life so that somebody else could be happy. Meanwhile, you get to live in misery, and you get to hide in the shadows and live with the shame and the guilt and the weight because they're not being held accountable for anything. You didn't come here to be a doormat. Let's drink to that. We did not come here to be doormats, right? Okay, so let's shift. Let's talk about some healthy priorities to have. Now, I cannot tell you what to prioritize in your life. That is not my job. I am here to guide you. I'm here to shine a light and help you find your way, okay? But what I can do is share the top 7 life priorities to have, all right? So let's get into it. Number 1, you got a pen? Let me give you a clue, a tip, not a clue. Get a clue. You want to write with blue ink. And we'll talk about this in a future live, but trust me, write with blue ink. It's going to stay with you, and it's going to change the trajectory of your life. If you are ready to make significant changes in your life, start writing with blue ink. Okay? So, hopefully you got your pen, you got some paper, you got a little notepad, you got a little something. Okay? Here we go. Or you could be fancy like me and get you a little bling pen like this, make you feel real pretty, good about yourself. Hey, priorities. All right, so number 1, and these are not in any particular order, okay? But number 1, your life mission, or as I like to call it, your soul's mission. Why did you come here? Why did you decide to be born during this time? Because you are a soul having a human experience. You chose to come here. Yes, you did. You chose to come here right now during this time. You had a choice. Do you want to come now? Do you want to hang out up there? Do you want to have these parents? You got to choose it all. Okay? Another conversation for another day. Whew, choosing your choice. But your soul came here to do stuff. Have you tapped into that? Do you know what that stuff is? Your soul's mission is a phenomenal priority to have in life. I mean, it's kind of the whole reason why you decided to do life this time around. So, yeah, that should definitely be at the top. Yeah? Okay. This next one, your physical health. Because without it, everything else is a moot point. Shall we drink to that? Yes, we shall. Your physical health. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you're in a coma because you didn't take care of yourself, money's not going to wake you up from that coma. I promise. It won't. So, your physical health, you got to take care of that. You got to prioritize that. It is a non-negotiable, my love, because everything else depends on it. You work so hard, so hard for everything. But if you run yourself down in the process, you can't continue to work hard. You can't enjoy the shit that you've worked for, and you can't help other people because you have all of these limitations now. So we've got to make sure that that physical health is a priority. Okay? Next, quality time with family. Family. Okay, now if you are joining me live, then you know that this is Thanksgiving weekend, and most of the posts that I have seen around the social platforms have been positive, people enjoying their time with family. But I have seen quite a few posts where people did not have a great Thanksgiving. They got together with family and shit went down, not in a good way. So I want to offer you this. Family does not always have to be the people that you are related to genetically. Guess what? You get to create your own family. You get to pick and choose who you bring into your inner circle, who you surround yourself with, who you pour yourself out to. You get to choose that. As my grandmother always said, if your right hand offends you, cut it off. Don't allow your family members, like the people that you're related to genetically, don't let them abuse you. Don't let anybody abuse you. But with that being said, we're going to focus on healthy family relationships. And that's not to say that families don't have issues. I don't think there's a family out here that doesn't have issues. But hopefully, spending quality time with your family, even with your issues, is a priority for you. And if you feel as though you cannot spend that quality time with your family because of the issues, then it is my sincere hope and prayer that you choose to prioritize healing with your family so that you can get to a space where you can spend quality time with one another. For example, I love to give a good example. For example, my biological father and I are estranged. He has he chose to dip out of my life before I turned one. And he had his own life choices, and that did not include me. We will never be able to get that time back. And he will never be able to come into my life as my father. But do I believe that healing is possible? Do I believe that it is possible to get to a space where we can communicate and have some sort of relationship? I absolutely do. And for me, that's enough. So No family is perfect, but it is important to know your roots. It's important to know where you come from. And it's a good thing to know who the hell you're related to so that you don't like accidentally marry a cousin or something, right? It happens. It happens more often than you think. So, since we don't want to be inbreeders, we're gonna at least know who the hell is in our family, right? Right. Okay, moving on. The next, we are on number 4. Healthy relationships. Healthy relationships. It's not enough to say, hey, I know you, you know me, let's hang out. No. Because again, if your right arm offends you, cut that bitch off. If it's a toxic relationship, please don't prioritize it because you cannot roll around in the mud and not get dirty. So we want to focus on those healthy relationships, the ones that energize us, the ones that uplift us, the ones that empower us, the ones that support us, the ones that are there when the rest of the world feels like a cold place, the ones who see your greatness on your worst days, the ones who want nothing from you and everything for you. Those. You definitely want to prioritize those. And I know now with the pandemic, it is a bit more challenging to get together. I know things are opening up, but we also have, new variants and things like that. So it's kind of that yo-yo. It's like open, close, open, close, open, close. And how do you deal with that? We adapt. So hopefully you're open. Hopefully you're taking advantage of other ways to be able to nurture these relationships. Technology is safe. You've got to be smart about it, but you can absolutely use it to deepen your connections. I won't be getting together physically with my family members anytime soon because it's pandemicking outside. But that doesn't mean that we can't get together on Zoom. Like we can have breakout rooms, we can make it like a whole family reunion. You could make it work. So, nourish the healthy relationships. Number 5, we're still alive. Yes, we are. Your mental health. Remember how I said if you don't have physical health, everything else is a moot point? Let me sip a little tea, girl. Your body listens to everything your mind tells it. The universe listens to everything that you focus on. If you want to know why you keep attracting a whole bunch of bullshit, pay attention to what you're focusing on. The universe wants you to be happy. It wants to support you. It wants to give you more of what you want. The universe only knows what you want by what you focus on. You get more of what you focus on. So, are we focusing on healthy things or are we focusing on non-healthy things? Without your mental health, it ain't gonna work, boo. It's not gonna work, okay? It's just not. Because you can have a healthy body. You can have all of these really supportive relationships. You can have the best job in the world. You can have all of the money in the world. You can have all of your needs met and then some, and still feel trapped in your own prison, living the loneliest existence. How do I know? Been there, done that. I have lived in the prison of my mind. Everyone's prison of their mind is different, but the beauty of it is that We each hold the key. We hold our own key. Now, if you're struggling with your mental health, get help. There's no shame. I have a therapist and I have no shame. I have joy. I have peace. I have freedom. I'm not ashamed. And especially in the colored community, people of color, therapy is not like it's taboo, you know? You're supposed, especially for women, you're supposed to be able to handle everything and handle it on your own without breaking down, without feeling like shit. You're just a superwoman and you can just handle it all. But I want to share a quote one of my friends shared with me the other day. My friend Marla. Shout out to you, Marla, if you happen to be catching me. Marla K. She's so spunky and spicy. I love Marla. Marla said something to me and it broke my heart wide open. I shared in a safe space that I had been hiding from the public because I was dealing with shame of being in therapy and not the shame of being in therapy, but the shame of not being able to handle it all by myself. And this beautiful soul, Marla, said to me, there's no such thing as handling it all by yourself. And I instantly snapped back, like, what the fuck am I thinking? It takes a village, right? We were not put here to be alone. We were here to commune, to connect with one another, to support one another. But that prison of the mind and the ego, whoo, that lion ass ego, girl, they will make you feel like you've got to isolate yourself. You've got to be able to deal with everything on your own. And if you can't, there's something wrong with you. And you need to slink away under the cover of night and go get fixed. And then you come back out like nothing ever happened. How about we normalize not being okay all the fucking time? It doesn't make you any less valuable, it makes you real, it makes you a soul having a human experience. Part of the human experience does include some pain. But you know, the beauty of pain, my G.I. Jane fans, lets you know you're not dead yet. You're still alive. So, if you are struggling with your mental health, please get help. I love you. I support you. And if no one else around you does, you just come talk to me. You've always got a safe space right here. Ain't no shame. It's so much better to get that healing. And for those of us that choose to, a lot of us are breaking, we are healing generational traumas. So please, if you need help, get the help. It's there. It's not as taboo as it used to be. And the more that we talk about it, we can make it less and less taboo. There's no shame in not being okay. There's no shame in needing help. All right? Okay, girl. Number 6, finances. Your finances, the bag, darling. You've got to get to the bag. Look, I know a lot of people have money issues. I myself am working on my money issues. And the thing about money issues is the more money you make, you kind of start to get new money issues, okay? But it's all right because we can work through those. Money is not bad. Let me sip this tea because I hear y'all talking that shit like Monique. Fuck what you're talking about right now. Money is the root of all evil. No, it's not, Bill, but I used to think like that. Money is neither good nor bad. Money is energy. That's it. It's just energy. We exchange it. You exchange energy with someone when you communicate with them. Right now, I'm exchanging energy with you. If you decided to be my coaching client, then we would exchange my knowledge, my energy that I'm pouring into you. Your energetic give back would be in the form of money. But money is neither good nor bad. We just attach chow chow to it. Money is a magnifier, though. It just makes you more of who you were, who you are. So, the good thing about that is if you are a great person, you got nothing to worry about. You can make all the money in the world and you're going to still be amazing and you are going to be able to do such amazing things. You'll be able to pour into other people. You'll be able to change so many more lives. Yes, that's what we want. Now, if you need to have a come into Jesus, if you're a shitty individual, then yeah, you get a boatload of money. Now you're going to be able to magnify that shittiness. You're going to be able to hurt more people. But if you are a pure soul, if you know that your intentions are pure, then you've got nothing to worry about. So get to the bag, boo. Get to the bag so you can do you exponentially. I feel like I need to watch Biodome this weekend. And number 7, self-improvement. Self-improvement. If you are not growing, you are dying. Now, every day we're dying. Yes, we're getting closer and closer to our time to transition. I was going to say shuffle off, but sheesh. To transition, okay? But when you are present and you're alive, like you're learning, change, always growing, always taking in new things. Life is a learning experience. It's a hands-on thing where you're supposed to be plugged in. The only constant is change. You don't want to stagnate. Think about water when it stagnates. Think about water that's like outside, that's just been sitting there. It starts to fester and grow, right? It's like microcosms are growing in that sitting water. Ew. I mean, yay, life, but ew, festering. We don't want to stagnate. So you want to continue to grow. You want to continue to improve yourself. And how do we do that? By shining that blinged out flashlight. You got to shine it into the corners, okay? You got to see what's there. Don't be afraid to be honest with yourself. It's only going to help. You want to feel better, then you got to be willing to look at what doesn't feel good. You cannot transmute what you will not shine a light on. So we're going to be brave. We're not going to put on our big girl panties because I feel like those have panty lines. I feel like those are like the big period panties. So we're going to put on our grown ass lingerie, the sexy shit that makes us want to, I don't know. I was going to say climb a mountain, but I don't have any that makes me want to climb a mountain. But makes you want to put on that LBD and those stilettos and go stomp the runway everywhere, right? With your best coat and your bag, purse first. Yes, yes. Purse first. We're going to love ourselves to life and we're going to see what needs improvement. Do you read? Do you read books? Or did you say, Whoo, girl, I made it out of high school. I am done. I'm never reading again. You don't have to read what someone else tells you to read. You can read whatever you want to, but you want to continue to learn and grow. You want to do better. So maybe you decide to check in with yourself like once a quarter and see where you are. Be honest with yourself. What does your life look and feel like? Does it look and feel like love? What does your version of love look and feel like? Start there. Then assess your current situation. Then you're going to see the things that need to change so that you can move towards the future that you want to create, or this enlightened version of yourself. Okay? So to recap those top 7 priorities to have in life, we've got your soul's mission, the whole reason why you came. Why are you came? As Dr. Janos Poha from Ghostbusters says so eloquently. Your physical health, quality time with family, and that could be the family that you choose, not necessarily the family that you were born into. Healthy relationships, mental health, your finances, girl, you got to get to the bag, and self improvement. All right. So now it's time for you to establish your priority hierarchy. So you can do this a number of ways. If you choose to work with the top 7 that I just gave you, that's super dope. What you can do is you can prioritize those, but you can take it a step further and you can treat each one like a category, and you can add things within that category, priorities within the priorities. So, for instance, if we are talking about your self improvement, what does that look like? Does that look like you, I don't know, maybe reading a book once a month? Not reading a book once a month, read a book a month. Maybe that is what that looks like for you. Or maybe you want to go back to school. Maybe you want to lose weight. Maybe you want to work on your self-image. Maybe you want to heal some relationships. So you can have these 4 priorities within the self-improvement priority. Okay? Or, or you can choose to sit with yourself and decide what's important to you. Who is important to you? But I want to offer you that you've got to be okay with releasing people. Because if you're honest with yourself, the life that you want to create that looks and feels like love, it probably does not include all of the people in your present. Now, if it does, then God bless you. You have been doing your work. If it doesn't mean you haven't been doing your work. It means that this may be the sign that you've been looking for to move forward. Because each moment that you hold on to people, situations, things that no longer serve who you are and where you're going, your highest purpose, you are killing yourself. You are sucking the life out of yourself. Girl, there's too many soul suckers out here on their own. Don't you suck your own soul. You got to be your own best friend. You got to love yourself to life, and you got to love yourself enough to know when you got to cut certain people out of your life. Now, I happen to be one of those people who, if I'm with you, then I stick with you for years. I stay with you until the wheels fall off. That's not always the best thing to do, because I guarantee you, in all of the relationships and the situationships where I ended up cutting them loose, I knew way before I let them go that I should have let them go. but I was trying to make it work, trying to make them feel good. I don't want to seem selfish and like I'm leaving everybody behind. Let me tell you something. There is nothing selfish about you taking care of yourself. There is nothing selfish about you chasing your dreams. There is nothing selfish about you living your soul's mission. And anybody who has a problem with you doing what you need to do so that you can be your best, they don't have your best interest at heart. And what does that mean? The door. Show them the door. They get to go. You get to be very protective with your energy and your circle and who you allow into your life and who you choose to prioritize. And you don't owe anybody a motherfucking thing. And if no one has told you that, please allow me to be the one to tell you that, because I can feel it right now. There is someone who is listening to me, and you are feeling all types of guilty because you feel like you know it's time to move on, know it's time to let this thing, this person, this situation go, but you've got the guilt. Oh, well, we've known each other so long, or I've been there so long, and they need me, and what are they gonna do without me? They're gonna figure it the fuck out. That's what's gonna happen. But it ain't about them, it's about you. This is where you get to focus on you. There is nothing selfish in taking care of you. Be honest with you. There's nothing selfish with prioritizing yourself. Okay. Girl, let me sip some tea. I'm starting to get a little amped up. Happy Sunday. All right. Like I said, I can't tell you who or what to prioritize. I can't tell you the hierarchy to create, but what I can tell you is that it all starts with you. If you're not happy, then everything else is a moot fucking point. I'll give you another saying that my grandmother had. Woo, she had the best sayings. Mrs. Evelyn Ackland, for those of you who are not sure. She would say, I am not going to live in hell and die and go to hell. If you're not living a life that looks and feels like love, what are you doing? Because you are a powerful creator, much more powerful than you give yourself credit for. You can create anything that you want. So, what do you want to create? What do you want to focus on? Who do you want to focus on? And who do you really want to let go of? And guess what? You don't owe anybody a fucking explanation. Damn sure don't. Mm-mm. Because I'm choosing to move forward and we are no longer in alignment. You are no longer in alignment with where I am going, boo. This don't look and feel like love anymore. This is not serving me. And it's time for me to go. And if that scares the hell out of you, it's fine. Being brave is not the absence of fear. Being brave is feeling the fear and doing the thing anyway. I promise the moment that you take that first step toward your freedom, toward creating the life that you want, the universe is going to show up and show out. As Nana said, God said, if you take one step, I'll take two. You just got to take that first step. You just have to hold the vision and move toward that vision and let everything else come to you. I promise that it will. And if it hasn't, there's a reason. We don't always get what we want. But girl, let me cross these legs real quick. Be honest with yourself. If you got all of the shit that you wanted over the years, how much junk and bullshit and toxic people would you have in your life? Exactly. Okay? So, let's be honest with ourselves about what you want. And again, it's not selfish for you to sit back and for you to envision the life that you want. It's not selfish. And for you to move towards that is not selfish. If it's not hurting anybody else, there's nothing wrong with it. That's not to say that everybody's going to agree with the choices that you make with what you choose to prioritize. But guess what? You are the one living your life. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. And a good amount of them stink, girl. The only opinion that matters is yours. So, you want to pour into yourself so much so that your cup overflows. It all starts with you. And then from that overflow, that's where you pour into everybody else. You cannot give to other people what you don't already have. You cannot fill someone up from an empty ass cup. That's how you end up in the hospital or on your deathbed. That's how you end up with disease in your body, dis-ease. So let's keep it easy and let's be honest with ourselves. Did you know that a vast majority of the diseases that people are inflicted with come from lifestyle choices, comes from stress, comes from putting up with dumb shit that you knew you should have let go of a long time ago. So let's love ourselves enough to be honest with ourselves and figure out what we actually want to prioritize, what feels good. If it doesn't feel good, it ain't for you, because life ain't supposed to feel like shit all the time. And that's not to say that your life is going to be perfect the moment that you figure out this vision for your life, but it does not have to be a prison. You don't have to be miserable. It doesn't have to feel like punishment. Okay? So, what does your priority hierarchy look like? You have to be at the top. It all starts with you. Because if you are not your best, you cannot give your best to everybody else. It's that trickle down effect. Then you want to throw in your kids because they didn't ask to be here. Then there's parents and partners and relationships and the job or the business that you are choosing to build because you said fuck the job because it was sucking the life out of you. But it is my sincere hope and prayer that you choose to prioritize things that serve your soul's mission. We all deserve to be happy, and we all get there in very different ways. Everyone's journey is different, but you are no less important than anyone else. You are no better than anyone else either. Choose to stop prioritizing people that treat you like an option. When people tell you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't allow all these repeat offenders in your life and then you're mad, girl. You're just mad for no reason. You gave them the keys. People can only drive you crazy if you give them the keys. That's why can't nobody find my keys. Most of the time, I can't find my keys, but that's another story. All right. So that is what I have for you for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this episode of Tea with MC. Now, if you love this conversation and if you want to continue to grow your glow, then I invite you to join my Glow It Up community. It is a safe, inclusive space. I've got all types of goodies in there, recordings and downloadables, and you will just be in the orbit. You'll know all of the awesome haps around the spaces. All right. So just head to group.mcglowup.com and I will see you next Sunday for more Tea with MC. Stay safe out there. I love you. Namaste.